Welcome back to the channel, Foo. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to like videos like this.
New Orleans. People look at this as like a haunted playground. Why do you think that is?
Because it is. It's so powerful here that even the average person will start to pick up that something's fucking different. Above us are slave quarters. This used to be the big house, which means that there are dead black bodies underneath these bricks. That's everywhere in New Orleans. It's the history of the place.
Do you think this city attracts people that are spiritually reckless?
Yeah, most people don't even understand the value of their own spirit. It's real easy to take from them. There's a reason that there's alcohol available 24/7. There are parties 24/7.
Yeah.
During one Mardi Gras, there's a man on one of these upper floors or whatever, super drunk, falls over the railing and splat on the ground. And you can see blood running out of his ear into the soil.
He gave a spirit?
Directly to the land.
Buonasera. Siamo qui da un vertice importante, tanto chiaramente per un messaggio molto importante. Mi pare di avervi detto.
C'era stata la reazione di Trump.
Sono politiche espansive.
Ma come faremo a produrre proiettili, carri armati?
Presidente, mi scusi, con la Presidente Trump è riuscito a parlare ieri sera anche del tema dazi?
Fino al 10% dazi. Ieri ha detto che va bene così, lei è d'accordo?
Impegnatissima per ottenere questo risultato.
Aumenti sostenibili, ha detto...
Parlamento, lei deve mandare il Presidente per fare la colonna europea.
Sì, sì.
Perfect.
Absolutely, aliens exist, but the Bible doesn't use the word aliens. It talks about 4 classes of beings that exist that are not human. According to Ephesians 6:12, these are the 4 types of classes of beings. Number 1, evil rulers. Number 2, authorities of the unseen world. So the Bible lets you know there's another world that exists, but you can't see it. Number 3, mighty powers in this dark world. And number 4, evil spirits in heavenly places. That word heavenly means outer space. These are 4 classes of beings that exist, but we call them aliens. The Bible calls them rulers and evil spirits.
Have you ever heard of Boltzmann brain?
What is that?
Okay, what about last Thursdayism?
What are you saying?
Boltzmann brain is the idea that, statistically speaking, it is far more likely that your brain was created 5 seconds ago, along with like all of your memories and everything, this whole reality being fake. It's far more likely that that happened than it is that the entire universe and all of the ways that scientists think it happened actually happened.
What?
Last Thursdayism is the idea that the universe was made last Thursday.
What?
You could never prove to me that the universe wasn't created last Thursday.
Okay, so what about like all the history and...
Let's say for the sake of the point, last Thursdayism was real and the universe was created last Thursday.
Right.
If that was the case, then all of your memories would be fake. All of those things wouldn't actually exist, just like a dream. You feel as though your dream was so real doesn't mean it actually existed. Pedro, prove to me that the universe wasn't created last Thursday.
I would say, think of your past, right?
If your mind created the universe, of course it's going to create all of these things also. When you load into a GTA server, all of that stuff exists. Cars exist, buildings exist, but it was created right then when you turn the game on.
I was just loaded into the world last Thursday.
Possibly last Thursday.
What's happening? Is that a magic sink?
Esto que estás viendo aquí parece ser un filtro más de TikTok, pero cuando interactúan animales con él, en específico gatos, pasa algo muy curioso. Lo que estás viendo aquí parece un simple filtro de TikTok, un pequeño duende digital que, en teoría, no existe en el mundo real, que solamente puede verse a través de la pantalla. Pero hay algo muy curioso cuando felinos interactúan con él. Los gatos comienzan a reaccionar exactamente en el lugar donde aparece la figura. No miran al azar, no voltean hacia otro lado, sino lo siguen algo que supuestamente no deberían poder detectar. Y lo más inquietante es que no fue solamente un gato, no es solamente un hecho aislado. En distintos videos, varios felinos reaccionan igual, se ponen alerta, siguen la figura con la mirada e incluso parecen incómodos cuando el supuesto duende se acerca. Muchos creen que los gatos tienen un sexto sentido o algo así, que pueden percibir energías, presencias o cosas que simplemente los seres humanos como tú y como yo no podemos ver. Por eso se habla que ellos, tanto como los perros, pueden ver, escuchar o sentir estas mismas presencias que a nosotros meramente se nos es imposible.
I'm reporting the experience exactly how it came to me. So they basically showed me that I'm alone in my simulation. They showed me that I'm sitting with VR glasses alone in this some kind of a dark basement. It wasn't ominous. It was just basically to illustrate that you're completely alone. And there's like infinite screens in front of me. So like infinite possibilities, right? So I'm kind of creating my own reality, so to speak. And then behind me was the Mandelbrot set. You know, the famous fractal. Basically telling me the worlds you're moving through, they're all evolved through the shoreline of the Mandelbrot set, according to the logic of that one. They didn't tell me how, but like that's how we're automating the worlds. And then what I also understood is that basically we are all in our own simulation. Like you exist, but you're on your own side. I exist on my own side. And we have all these like possibilities unfolding. Your presence in my world is an avatar and vice versa.
Guys, I'm at my grandpa's house and he has this weird, like, what the fuck? Okay, there's gotta be someone like in this. Does this come off? What the fuck? Oh my.
Nunca vaya a lugares solitarios, hospitales, abandonados, cementerios, todos esos lugares, porque está lleno de demonios. Ahí es el lugar que Dios le permite, en el campo desolado, en el campo, vos podés ir 2 personas, no uno solo, nunca vaya solo, porque ahí es donde se aparecen los animalitos. En lo desértico, en lo abandonado, es el permiso que tienen de Dios para estar ellos. En una casa abandonada, en una obra abandonada. Por ejemplo, hay una obra que está sin terminar, ahí hay manada y manada de demonios. En los lugares, si ustedes leen, si vos lees, vos Carlito lee, el que lee lo sabe, el que no lo lee no sabe nada de estas cosas. Entonces yo le estoy advirtiendo, nunca se vaya a una obra sin terminar, abandonada, nunca, claro, si va a trabajar y va a terminar la obra, es otra cosa. Pero la idea es no esté solo, no esté en un campo solo, no esté en lugares desérticos solo. ¿Nunca te diste cuenta vos que cuando vos vas a un bosque o cuando vos vas a un lugar que está descampado y eso te da un poco de chuchi? ¿Por qué te crees que es? Y vos te sabés defender. ¿Miedo a qué? Que con eso no entra el arte marcial, ¿verdad? Y ahí te dan a vos. Entonces, porque son espíritus malos que te van a atacar. Y en los baños es lo mismo. En los baños más público todavía, en los baños públicos más demonio hay que en tu propia casa. Por eso todo tiene un significado de algo. No les enseño cosas por enseñar.
The town of Athens reveal a disturbing link between 5 local cemeteries.
And these 5 cemeteries are connected. They form a pentagram around the city of Athens, with the center of this being at the very center of campus.
So we just found this on the beach in New Jersey. It says,
I can barely see it.
oh yeah, you covered it up, but it said find me on the paper.
This one's fun. We should grab like sticks or something. Ooh.
Ew.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think this is gonna break. No, it's coming out. Ew. Oh, it is.
What the hell?
It's cinnamony. What the fuck are we opening right now? Oh, there's a note in it though.
Yeah.
Powder. Oh, yeah.
Yo, this is actually kind of creepy.
Come
You
look.
want me, find me, come
Look for me. You are in love. Right there at the bottom. Love. Something else.
Show me off.
Show me off.
Yeah, you were in love or what?
Amanda.
Amanda, yeah.
You all just broke a love spell.
Okay, explain this. Steamed, season's choice cut green beans. Put them on this plate. Put them in the microwave. Add 30 seconds. Explain that. Only thing that does that in a microwave is metal.
Don't believe what you see. Don't believe what you see. Don't believe what you see.
Quiero enseñarles algo en esta foto. Esta foto se tomó en la ciudad de Chihuahua, Chihuahua, en la iglesia El Señor de los Guerreros. Es el día del bautismo de mis hijos. Mi esposo, mi hijo, el padre, yo, mi hija. ¿Y quién le está agarrando la mano a mi hija?
Early 2019, there was a designer, his name was Covid Kapoor. You know what his specialty was? Designing outfits with matching face masks.
Covid Kapoor.
See, a lot of people don't know
With a
this.
K.
Yeah, you can go look it up. You'll see it, Covid Kapoor. You'll see the season that he was on the year before COVID. That was his thing, design and with a face mask like we're wearing, like the same color. Nobody knows this stuff like that, you know? Like, I've done so much research, but you can see Covid Kapoor.
Reason vampires cannot be around silver and that's their weakness is because it dates all the way back in the Bible. Judas, when he betrayed Jesus, how did he betray him? I don't know. For 30 pieces of silver. Because Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, evil is cursed around silver. Silver itself, it's supposed to be a very pure, healing sort of metal that they use, and they always think of that. It's pure healing. That whole mythology of it came from that. And that's why vampires, werewolves, they get killed by silver. That's one of the only things, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Banging in the living room. There's nobody else in the house. I've just been upstairs watching TV. Some of my old haunted objects from the old house are in here, but nothing's ever happened. Hello? Hello? Oh. Whoa. Shit. Oh my God. What? What the hell? Whoa. I'm not staying in there. Oh my God. Oh, it's even colder in here. What is that noise? Hello? Oh my God. Well, it looks like my objects are back at it again, doesn't it? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? I am getting out of here. What the hell?
Hey, Bubba, so when you get old enough to drive, I'm gonna give you this car right here. How you feel about that? Yeah, you looking at it right? That car right there. You trying to make sure that's the right one.
Respectfully, why is your son older than you?
She said, I have a friend that's getting rid of this haunted doll. Do you want it? And I'm like, of course.
That's how all the horror movies start.
Yeah. It was tormenting her husband is all I knew. She liked the doll though. You know, it was cute. It looked like a ballerina. It came to a point where I started hearing chanting in the middle of the night. So I put her in my car. I was gonna
You doing some wild things.
So my windshield ends up cracking. A rock came out of, it must have came from the sky because there was no cars around.
I would have threw the doll out the window.
No, so I did keep her and I put her in my car one more time. The shift knob button somehow popped off and got stuck and I had to get a full tow truck.
Are you looking at the doll at this point?
It gets weirder. It ends up costing me exactly $666.
That's crazy.
The last straw for me was I was sleeping on the couch one night. I fell asleep out there and I woke up and was hearing something pretty loud. And this big black orb flies into my face and scared me so bad. And then I got rid of it. I was like, this is enough.
But none of that other
stuff
stuff
it was
enough.
coming at me. I felt like it was evil. I don't know. It felt like it was attacking.
They said it was some guy, Ara Zaboyan. A is the first letter, Z is the 26th letter. Kobe Bryant's wife and the 4 daughters. If you add up all the years they're born, it equals 10,026. The zeros don't count. 1, 2, 6. When Kobe got into his it was a fake helicopter crash in 2020. It was the 126-year anniversary of his high school, where he went to, I can't remember the high school now, Lower Merion in Philadelphia. If you take Kobe's 2 sisters and himself, and you add up how old they were when Kobe died, 126 years. I showed you there, Gematrinator. You put in Gianna Bryant, 126.
سبحان الله ما في المطرة إلا هنا بس الجزء هذا فقط الجزء ده كله ما في شيء شوف سبحان الله شايفين كيف وهنا المطرة بس الناس كلها متعجبة من ذا الشيء والله هرجع
reach in the insider world called Cosmic Top Secret, and at that point you're now considered to be 35 levels of need to know above the President of the United States. Because once you get to that level, you are now part of what Rich Dolan has called a breakaway civilization. But what we're dealing with at that level is a very highly classified world that lives either in underground bases, of which I've been debriefed on approximately 265 that our military-industrial complex is built. They hold about 60,000 people each, and there's a whole lot of stuff I could talk about with that. But then also, there are a series of flying orbital platforms that are cloaked, so they are actually in our atmosphere, and they're very large.
This UFO object was seen through night vision goggles. Now notice when they point the laser at it, it cloaks invisible. Now I don't know what type of technology can cloak something invisible on night vision goggles, but look at this. This is clearly technology that is not of this world.
Scientists just discovered what actually causes deja vu, and it is terrifying. You all know that strange feeling. You walk into a room and you feel like, well, I've been here before. Sometimes situations and reality just blurs in a moment. You feel like, I've lived this before. That's deja vu. Now, previously, we never really knew what this was. It was always kind of just random, but scientists looking into it recently have found out that it probably isn't. What they have said is it's linked to something called subconscious connectedness. Basically, your brain is constantly scanning everything. Patterns, faces, places you go, everything. Even stuff you don't remember. Like, your brain blocks out a lot of stuff. Like, you don't remember everything you always do. So when something feels deeply familiar, it's actually because your brain has connected it to something stored deep inside your mind that you have actually seen before. But here's where it gets even weirder. People who experience deja have a brain that blends imagination and memory together, meaning what feels like a memory might not even be real. It could be your brain blending imagination into reality in real time. But the majority of times with deja vu, no, you haven't been there before, obviously, but you've probably been somewhere similar or remember something similar very deep inside your mind that you don't consciously remember, that your brain is connecting and making it feel very familiar.
So a Troctoborian they are actually much more related to a frog race. So basically they have all those features that a frog has, much smaller than an average human, but much bigger than a typical frog that appears on this planet. They are also bipedal again. Which is kind of curious because who would assume that a frog actually finds a way to stand up and, you know, take a walk.
Where do they live?
It originated in a red star system, but they are one of the oldest known races that actually inhabits this universe. Extremely advanced technologically wise. Because their lifespan is almost 1 million years per individual. The planet that they inhabit is actually a mobile planet. They use this home planet in order to move around to move around the universe in a very efficient way, because they're constantly carrying their own energy source within their own planet. Super smart, and they also kind of overlook possibilities and probabilities and time.
I'm telling you, these people are volunteering to get hit. Can you believe it? A restaurant in Japan has come out with a slap-in-the-face stress relief service, where before eating, diners can have a server slap them across the face. It started out as just a gimmick from the owner, but unexpectedly, people lined up to get slapped. So the service went from being free to having a fee. A single slap costs 500 yen, with the number of slaps ranging from 1 to 5. If you want to request a specific server to do the slapping, there's an extra 100 yen fee. As it turned out, the popularity only grew. Onlookers would cheer and take photos whenever someone got slapped, and even female diners were eager to give it a try. The owner then leveled up. Female customers can pay to act as the server and slap male diners, making it a two-way moneymaker. With such a wild concept, would you give it a try?
Can I get hired as a waiter?
Yeah, so the truth of the 12 original celestial human tribes has been attempted to be covered up so many times in all of history. Why? Because the teachings say that you are who you've been looking for. You don't need a middleman between you and God. Everything is within your DNA. Direct connection to source. And so, for example, the story of the Celtics were a tribe, tribe 11. Their story was taken and changed. The story of the Vikings, one of the original celestial human tribes. History says that they were like violent people. No, they weren't. They were grid keepers of specific indigenous lands. Literally, the tribes were assigned to specific lands to protect the stargates, the chakras, the energy portals of Mother Earth. This is why, over a period of time, systematically, history was changed, and literally, there were expeditions. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue 1492. Do you really think that the history books of what they're teaching our children are real? They were sent here to literally take over Stargate 2 from the Native American indigenous populations who were murdered and their land was taken. Yes, the history books say it was for gold or what. No, it wasn't. It was for Stargate 2, which was literally here. Whoever controls the stargates controls the flow of information. And once you start understanding this, you start realizing every single indigenous population has been systematically on purpose displaced and taken from their land because their DNA was literally key coded for the stargates as protectors. The 12 original celestial human tribes were protectors, and their DNA was coded to be able to open the stargates, and their women were systematically raped. Do you think that's an accident? Absolutely not. So the battle has always been for these important pieces of real estate on Mother Earth, which were key coded for the DNA of the indigenous living on that land. And history books have been changed to say that the Vikings and the Celtics were violent, and there were all these, no, they weren't. They were in their original form. Before the history books were changed, they were protectors of the land. And the truth is now coming forward. And it's within you. It's in your DNA.
Nunca deberíamos de cortarnos las uñas en la noche.
No manches, yo me las corto siempre en la noche.
No, jamás. Porque eso nos puede hacer que algún proyecto, algo se nos trunque. Y también, por ejemplo, no deberías de cortarlas en tu cuarto, ni en la sala. Tendría que ser directamente en el baño.
Ok, órale, en el baño.
Ajá.
Do you have an update on the UFO files and what might be, when we're going to be seeing those?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason that's been in the minds of people for a long time, that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have, and I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe.
He said, Tim, they're real. And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess. And this is what nobody will tell you. You are living in a cross-section of reality. The fourth dimension, where past, present, and future coexist, is accessible right now through a specific technique that Godard documented. But there is a reason why this information is not in university curricula. You see, when you understand that, you can literally select which future to experience. Not attract, not manifest, but select from options that already exist, you become ungovernable. Why do you think that billions operate in automatic mode, reacting to circumstances and creating chaotic realities without realizing it? The mechanism is brutally simple. Between waking and sleeping, your consciousness can navigate dimensionally. You enter the scene of your chosen future, participate in it, and feel it as an accomplished reality. The mirror universe has no choice but to reorganize everything to correspond. While the masses continue to be trapped in three-dimensional cause and effect, there exists a group using this knowledge right now to operate on another level of reality. The difference? They have discovered that they are the projector, not the screen.
Explain buoyancy without gravity.
Electrostatics. So we can take some leftover helium balloons, and they're neutrally buoyant. I tied we just put a little button on it, and it's floating about 2 inches off the ground. And we connected a wire to it, and with the wire on, it's floating like 2 inches off the ground. And that goes to a Van der Graaf generator. A Van der Graaf generator can add a charge to something. So it's neutrally buoyant off the ground. We add a higher positive charge to it, Brad, and it goes down. We discharge it, and it goes back up. Did we change gravity, or did we change the electrostatic charge? We changed the charge.
Or the density.
No, we didn't change the density. We just changed its electrostatic charge. We can take a tinfoil triangle, and we can put a negative charge into it, and it goes up off the ground, and it levitates. Are we changing gravity, or we're just changing the electrostatic charge? MIT has a drone called the Silent Drone. It looks like a milk crate. It has no moving parts, and it can fly. Is it defying gravity, or is it just using electrostatics? And I told you before, the globalists say the electrostatic charge, provable, testable, repeatable, anybody can do that. Gravity has never been proven, never been tested, is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity. 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity, it says that gravity is 0. That number doesn't even exist. So that's, again, revelation of the method. They're telling us gravity is nonsense.
What about a dome? What is its refractive index?
I don't know. There was Operation High Jump. That was in Antarctica. Operation Fishbowl, where they were shooting bombs up at the dome to see what its physical properties was. There's old documents talking about they were seeing the reflectiveness of the dome, and they were trying to blast a hole in it back in the 1950s. And, you can see when these bombs explode that they're hitting something and spreading out. But that's all we know. It was called Operation Dominic, which is of the Lord, an Operation Fishbowl. Why would they call it that?
Yeah, there's definitely some questions. I just wish I had, multiple people here, because I'd like to hear like both sides. Now, what would convince you that the Earth is a globe?
This squirrel has mapped the whole city.
Not metaphorically, not as a useful way of thinking about probabilities. Physically, measurably, operationally, both. This property is what gives quantum computers their power. But the word power is misleading because it suggests speed. Quantum computers are not simply faster versions of classical computers, the way a sports car is a faster version of a sedan. The difference is not one of degree, it is one of kind. A classical computer solving a complex problem works through it step by step, checking one possibility at a time, moving sequentially through a space of potential answers until it finds the correct one. A quantum computer does something that has no classical analog. It explores all possible answers simultaneously. Every qubit added to the system doubles the number of states the machine can hold at once. 10 qubits can hold 1,024 states simultaneously. 20 qubits can hold over 1 million. 30 qubits, over 1 billion. 53 qubits, the number in Google's Sycamore processor, can hold approximately 9 quadrillion states simultaneously. 9 followed by 15 zeros. More simultaneous computational paths than the number of cells in every human body on Earth combined. And this is where the question of where becomes unavoidable, because here is a number that changes everything. If you build a quantum computer with 300 qubits, the number of simultaneous states it can hold is 2 raised to the power of 300. Write that number out and it has roughly 90 digits. That number is larger than the total count of atoms in the observable universe. Every atom in every star in every galaxy that has ever been detected or mapped or theorized about. And the 300 qubit machine still has more computational space than all of it combined. You cannot fit that computation inside one universe. There is not enough physical room, not enough particles, not enough space, not enough anything. The computation exceeds the physical resources of the observable cosmos. This is not philosophy, this is arithmetic. If the machine requires more computational states than there are particles in the observable universe to represent them, then the computation is happening somewhere that is not inside the observable universe. And the machine works. It gives correct answers. Verified, reproducible, peer-reviewed answers that match the predictions of quantum theory with extraordinary precision. The machine does something that requires resources our universe does not contain, and it does it every single time it runs. The man who predicted this would happen was not working inside a government laboratory surrounded by colleagues and equipment. He was working alone. In October of 2019, a machine sitting inside a refrigerated chamber in Santa Barbara, California, did something that should have been impossible. It solved a mathematical problem in 200 seconds. That number means nothing until you hear the other number. The same calculation, performed on the most powerful classical supercomputer on Earth at the time, a machine called Summit built by IBM that fills a room the size of 2 basketball courts, would have taken approximately 10,000 years. Not 10,000 hours, not 10,000 days, 10,000 years. Longer than the entirety of recorded human civilization. Longer than the gap between the invention of agriculture and the moment you are hearing this sentence. A machine the size of a chandelier, cooled to a temperature colder than the vacuum of outer space, performed in 3 minutes and 20 seconds what the combined classical computing power of the entire planet could not accomplish in the span of human history. And almost nobody outside of physics stopped to ask the question that should have followed immediately. Where did it do the calculation? That is the question this story is about. Not how the machine works, though we will cover that. Not what it can do, though the implications are staggering. The question is where. Because the answer to that question, if you follow it to its logical conclusion, does not lead to a new engineering breakthrough. It leads to the edge of reality itself. And what it reveals about the nature of the universe you are living in right now is something that most people have never been told clearly enough to feel the weight of it. Let us begin. The machine was called Sycamore. It was built by Google's Quantum Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, and it contained 53 qubits, the quantum equivalent of the binary bits that power every classical computer you have ever used. A classical bit exists in one of 2 states, a 0 or a 1. Every computation your phone performs, every photograph it stores, every message it sends, is encoded as a sequence of zeros and ones, processed through logic gates at speeds measured in billions of operations per second. A qubit is different. A qubit can be a 0, it can be a 1, or it can be both simultaneously, existing in a condition called superposition, a state in which the qubit holds all possible values at the same time until the moment it is measured. When it is measured, the superposition collapses. The qubit becomes a 0 or a 1. But while it is in superposition, while no instrument is observing it, while the universe has not yet demanded that it choose, it is both. Not metaphorically, not as a useful way of thinking about probabilities.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.